JT Barrett is making his early bid for a 2015 Heisman Trophy run. Oh, that's right. He's not even going to be starting at quarterback for Ohio State in 2015. Mark Rogers TV after the Buckeyes disposed of the Scarlet Knights of Rutgers. Welcome to the Big Ten, 56-17. Rutgers still off to a decent start at 5-2, but they have a backloaded schedule, and we'll get to that in just a minute. Let's start with JT Barrett, a much different quarterback than the guy that we saw against Navy in his first career start, and then against Virginia Tech in that Bear defense that Urban Meyer has gone on record of saying we did not see that coming, and credit Virginia Tech of scrapping their defensive scheme for one game and really rehearsing since the Braxton Miller injury for one JT Barrett and to challenge him to make throws downfield. Had that game been played a couple weeks later, who knows? But it's on record as a Hokies win over the Buckeyes in the shoe. So the Buckeyes, if they have any hope, any chance of making a college football playoff, have to put that way in the rearview mirror. And based on their performances specifically against decent teams, not Kent State or not even Cincinnati, but the last couple times out against Maryland and now Rutgers, in putting up 52 and 56 points, the Buckeyes are showing possibly that they are ready to compete with the better teams in college football. JT Barrett came out very sharp, not just throwing the football accurately, but also on time as he typically does. That's what's been most impressive about this kid as a redshirt freshman, being able to throw the ball on time. He anticipates very well, and he knows where to lead receivers and make it easy for them to run with the football after the catch. He was very sharp coming out at 9 for 9. Then he hit some flutters there where he overshot some throws, also was late on some throws, didn't anticipate out of the break for just a drive or two, and it was noted during the game broadcast, and you could see it. It was very evident. Then he got back into the groove and finished 19 of 31, 261 yards, and he is the Big Ten leader in touchdown passes. So consider Christian Hackenberg and the likes of Connor Cook and Nate Sudfeld before he got hurt. Jake Rudock, not a dynamic player at Iowa, but an experienced quarterback coming back off a decent 2013 campaign. Trevor Siemian with Northwestern. A lot of quarterbacks in the Big Ten coming back from last season. A lot of experienced starters in the conference, Gary Nova included, with 34 career starts. But the leader in touchdown passes, JT Barrett. Of course, he also has probably the best talent around him. I don't think there's any question offensively the best talent around him in the Big Ten. Gary Nova actually came in leading the nation in yards per completion at over 17 yards in that pro-styled Rutgers offense. He loves to chuck it down the field, and the results are mixed and have been mixed for Gary Nova, but he has been a four-year starter for the most part at Rutgers. Buckeyes took control with two touchdown drives right out of the gate. Rutgers made it 14-7, and the Buckeyes were never headed after that as they marched on to the win, 56-17. The Ohio State offensive line much troubled in that game one against Navy, and then completely exposed again against Virginia Tech. But keep in mind, again, the Bear defense, 9 in the box, so they were outmanned, outnumbered up front in that Virginia Tech game. That was simply Ohio State and JT Barrett not being able to complete passes downfield on one-on-one situations. Barrett not making the throws at that point in his development, and also the wide receivers not being able to make plays in situations that they have to win the one-on-one battles. That was the issue more so than the offensive line. In just watching the game, it appeared to be the offensive line, but after you look at the coaches' film, hear from the coaches, you recognize that they were outmanned up front, and that was on Barrett and the wide receivers. But much different situation now. And defensively for the Buckeyes, there was a play at the end of the first half. Rutgers trying to salvage something to get in at halftime closer than what happened at 35-7. And Doran Grant made a great play on the ball. It was a poor pass by Gary Nova. He should have back-shouldered it. That's what the defense was giving him. But Grant cut off the receiver. It let open the backdoor throw. The back shoulder throw. Nova did not see it. He threw it up for grabs. Still Grant, The ball skills of these Ohio State secondary guys is so much improved. And that's one of the reasons why secondary coach Chris Ash was brought in from Arkansas to work with these defenders in the secondary, because the ball skills were atrocious early in the season, and specifically all of 2013, even with a first-round NFL draft pick in Bradley Roby at that point. The ball skills have improved greatly. These are exceptional athletes, 4- and 5-star recruits who can run and jump with the best of them, but can't find the ball in the air. And now they're starting to show that they have the confidence and the experience, and they have been coached to be able to turn and run with a receiver, look for the ball, and make a play on the ball. And that's exactly what Grant did to close out the first half, and a 35-7 lead for the Buckeyes. 585 total yards for Ohio State to 345 for Rutgers, and the Buckeyes again win it 56-17, and this team looks to be rolling at this point in the season. They've got a date with Penn State in Happy Valley on the road, and despite what the Nittany Lions have shown us in recent weeks in losing at Michigan and losing to Northwestern, scoring just 6 points in that game, this could possibly be a difficult game for the Buckeyes on the road. And for Rutgers, now 5-2, their schedule's backloaded, and it started here with Ohio State. Now Rutgers goes to Nebraska. They've got later dates with Michigan State still on the horizon, and with Wisconsin, and the Big Ten trying to put together a rivalry with Maryland and Rutgers. Expect that to be the closing date of the regular season each and every year. So Rutgers finishes off with a Maryland team that came back to defeat Iowa today 38-31. So Rutgers getting off to a good start, but now at 5-2, being just one win away from bowl eligibility. That one win could be difficult. It's probably going to be Indiana, and maybe they pull off another upset. A 7-5 year in the Big Ten and 4-4 in the conference would be a win for sure for Rutgers. All right, Rutgers fans, Ohio State fans, let's talk about the rest of the season for your two football teams with very different expectations as we head down the stretch right here on Mark Rogers TV.